Good afternoon. This is Robert Childress, CEO of the Masters Conference. I'm here with Eric Mandel, who is the founder, CEO, kind of the brains behind LTPI. One of them, yeah. And I'm excited to be with you today here at Legal Tech. And I wanted to cover a couple things today. I wanted to talk about LTPI, a little bit about that. What is it? What are you guys trying to do? And kind of, is there a new initiative you guys are working on? Is there something that is you're proud of, or something that's kind of come up? And third is what are you guys offering? You know, if my listeners are looking and they're listening to this podcast and they're interested in engaging LTPI, what do they contact your group about? That kind of thing. So, first and foremost, it's a pleasure seeing you, and
nice to see
you always look fantastic. So, what's hot with LTPI?
Well, LTPI, Legal Technology Professionals Institute, what we're about is promoting professionals in the industry. We're here to make to help the industry mature, to help bring up the people who are part of the industry, to promote the work of those that are of us who are industry veterans and experienced and have been around for a decade, 2 decades or more, and to bring in those that are finding this is a new home, who want to develop a career here, who have a passion for the intersection of law and technology, right, where we can go and make things better. Right. So that's really what we're about, is to promote the industry and the participants in the industry.
So is there anything in particular with, I say LTPI, but Legal Technology Professionals Institute, and we just saw Judge Peck, for instance, who seems to be super impressed with the organization. So what is it that have I seen your work over the past year? Has there been some engagements you guys have done?
Well, so it's not so much that we're doing engagements. What we're here to do is provide standards and guidelines to those that are in the industry to help us do our jobs. Right. We're trying to make it so that everybody can do their job, and even more so to do it better. Right. So we want to be able to say, look, there's not one way to do anything of what it is that we do. There are lots of ways. And different providers, be it a service provider, technology provider, we all have our special sauce. We all have our knowledge of how to do something. Plus, every engagement that all of us have, be it that you are a consumer or a provider, is different. They all come in different flavors. We're rarely rinse and repeat over and over and over again.
Right.
So to be able to have tools and resources where you can say, okay, I have something new. I want to make sure that I'm considering all the components of this particular portion of an engagement or this particular type of engagement. What are all the things that I need to think about? If I'm working with somebody who is not part of the industry, but a litigator who doesn't know anything about e-discovery, doesn't know anything about a meet and confer process, somebody who's in records, who's responsible for managing data that's related to discovery. What happens at the end of the life cycle when a case is over?
Right.
How do you do these things? What things do you need to consider and bring forth the right resources and the right processes to do it the best ways we can? And what we're doing is we're trying to provide that level of guidance, some of it being in standards, some of it being in form of guidance, some of it being in checklists.
Yeah, didn't you guys just release something recently?
We did.
Within the past month or so?
We just released something called the Discovery Data Governance Model.
I saw that.
And what that's about is, at the end of every case, you got all this data that was brought in for discovery. What happens? Now, you've got the client side of this, the corporate end, if you will, that has responsibility of that data. They want to make sure that their data is properly handled at the end of a litigation. They want to get rid of it. They may have little bits and pieces within their resource. They may have part of at their vendor. There may be some of it at their law firm. Maybe a combination of their law firm is also their service provider. But where is that data, and what needs to happen to it in order to return that information to the proper information life cycle that it belongs to for either disposition, final disposition, or return? How do we go and properly make sure that this legacy data that is no longer needed, particularly if it's outlived its life cycle, is properly destroyed.
Gotcha.
So these are checklists for people to to walk through the steps of different types of scenarios and be able to come up with, okay, how am I going to execute the end of life cycle component for this discovery data?
That's fantastic. So if I want to learn more about LTPI, Legal Technology Professionals Institute, I can go to your website, which is?
LegalTechPI.org. So legaltechpi.org.
Okay, great. And then all the information I need is there, and if I want to reach out to you guys?
There's lots of information that's there. There's ability to reach out to us. I always do info@legaltechpi.org. We'll send an email off that'll be handled. That's one easy way to get to us.
Okay.
And there's information on the site about how we operate, what we do, as well as the products that we've already completed and things that are currently in the pipeline as well.
All right, Eric. Well, thank you so much for your time today.
Well, thank you,
really
Robert.
Appreciate it. That's it.